Do you think this Congress, between the Senate and the House, can handle this issue?
Well, the House is only in session in July, one more week before we leave for August, and 2 weeks of the Republican and Democratic conventions, and we come back the week after Labor Day, and we'll have 3 more weeks in September. If we don't pass something this week that we're in, then I don't know if gas will be that much lower after Labor Day. When I say that much, we're not going to see $3 a gallon gas even after Labor Day. And I would like to see it because I drive too, in fact, but I just don't think we're going to do it. I think it's going to be an issue, the number one issue, whether it's in July or August or September and all the way up through November. And if we don't get a handle on this and try to get ahead of that curve of these energy prices, it'll be for the next president and the next Congress.
Well, I'm seeing an undertone out in just talking to regular people that they want the Congress to do something. Do you think that message is coming across?
I think it's coming across because I listen in on, I'm in on lots of caucus meetings and lots of discussion with lots of members, and they're hearing it. I don't know if our leadership has gotten quite to that point yet, but I know they're hearing it from a lot of the members who are not are oil patch Democrats.
How much louder do you think it has to get?
I don't know. It's pretty loud right now, and even with the price drop, at $125 a barrel, that's still way over what it should be. And if you talk to a refiner or even a driller, sure, they're making great money now, but they can make money at half that price.
Absolutely.
And that way our economy wouldn't be in such straits as we're seeing right now.
Got a question here that I want to make sure I ask correctly. Interest in investment in renewable energy seems to be elevated, no doubt due to the high-priced environment. Is there any measure in place that would maintain these levels of funding in renewables and commodity prices, should commodity prices come down?
I think Congress will extend those wind and solar because everybody's supporting it.
Sure.
It's just a matter of getting it to the floor. And so I would hope as part of our energy bill would not only be more production, but also be that we would continue those wind and solar reductions. And I would like to even see more. I would like to see even more solar, because I think Texas and part of our country could benefit from a lot more solar power. But since it's not economical to do it now, we have to the federal government has to give tax incentives to do it. And the tax incentives, even what they are now, are not to where the average homeowner can say, well, I'm going to heat all my water with solar, like they do in Israel, for example.
Sure.
And we could do it.
So if you were looking forward from your position as in Congress, would you say that Congress does need to do something long-term to keep these renewables going, even if the commodity price should come down?
I think we need to give the certainty to the investors and also the folks who are going to invest in their homes, their businesses, to do these alternatives, so they can see those tax benefits will go out for a longer term. So they'll make that investment today instead of saying, well, I'm going to wait and see what they do. We need to do as far in the future as we can, and the most is 9 years. Frankly, the goal now is just to do these wind and solar for 3 or 4 years into the future. So if we did that, I think the industry would be happy about that. But we have to let these things get off the ground, and they have to have assistance to do it.
Well, and I saw in Senator McCain's platform that he was also suggesting we need serious investment in nuclear. Would that be something that would fit in alignment?
Yes, we have 2 nuclear plants in Texas, and probably the next one that'll be approved will be in Texas. And because except for the construction of that plant over its lifetime, and of course we have the problem with the using the spent fuel or putting it away somewhere or storing it, there's a way you can even recycle that other countries, Japan and France, have done real well, that we could do. But nuclear power has hardly no carbon footprint. And so you get 20 or 30 years of whatever the life of that plant, and it can be reworked and maybe get additional plant production out of it.
Let's talk about carbon for a moment, because there is certainly a lot of discussion about what the Congress should do in reference to global warming. What's your opinion?
Well, I think Congress needs to take it slow, although I think the next Congress will pass something, whether it be a cap and trade, which is probably, I know if you're a free market totally, you may think that's the most effective, but I've had too many generators of carbon who tell me the most efficient way is to put a carbon tax on it. Whereas if I get my electricity through predominantly coal plants, then I would pay more for that coal power than I would from a natural gas, which does emit carbon, but not near as much as a coal plant. I would pay less from a wind powered or less from a nuclear power based on that carbon. But I don't think the Congress will pass a any kind of BTU tax or any kind of carbon tax. So I think we'll end up with some type of cap and trade. I've watched what Europe has done on that, and I really don't like. If carbon is the bottom line, I don't think Europe's solution is there.
Well, actually, it hasn't worked in Europe.
Yeah,
so
and that's what bothers me. And we don't want to foster something on the American people that, one, will not do the job, but will also raise costs without the ability to control it.
Unrealistically, I know we're looking at a horizon on global warming that could be as far away as 100 years. Do you think the American economy can take care of that today? Can we afford even higher priced energy?
Energy prices are going to go up whether we do carbon or not, and so it's going to be hard to quantify it. But I think there is a way we can do it if we grow into it where it won't price us out of the market, so to speak. Yeah. I would bet you that Europe may be emitting more carbon now than it did before the carbon trading issue.
Actually, they are. You're right.
But it's also been costly to their basic industries, automobiles, steel. So we want to make sure we learn from their bad experience to where we don't repeat that.
Well, Mr. Congressman, this has been fascinating. Any final thoughts?
Well, Congress needs to make sure that energy is not just something that we can deal with today or tomorrow. It's like any other issue, it's going to be with us. The basic of an industrialized country is that you have to have a reasonable price energy.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Richard Loomis for World Energy. Thank you very much for watching.